सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्त ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री वेदव्यास सद्गुरवे नमः। वैशंपायन सद्गुरवे नमः। याज्ञवल्क्य सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम श्री आद्य शंकर सद्गुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। पारायणम 10th अनुवाक ऑफ भृगुवल्ली। सदाचार प्रदर्शनम ब्रह्म आनंद अनुभवः। ओम न कंचन वसतौ प्रत्याचक्षेत तद्व्रतं तस्माद् यया कया च विधया बह्वन्नं प्राप्नुयात् आराध्यस्मा अन्नमित्याचक्षते एतद्वै मुखतोऽन्नगं राद्धं मुखतोऽस्मा अन्नगं राध्यते एतद्वै मध्यतोऽन्नगं राद्धं मध्यतोऽस्मा अन्नगं राध्यते एतद्वा अन्ततोऽन्नगं राद्धं अन्ततोऽस्मा अन्नगं राध्यते य एवं वेद क्षेम इति वाचि योगक्षेम इति प्राणापानयोः कर्मेति हस्तयोः गतिरिति पादयोः विमुक्तिरिति पायौ इति मानुषी समाज्ञाः अथ दैवीः तृप्तिरिति भृष्टौ बलमिति विद्युते यश इति पशुषु ज्योतिरिति नक्षत्रेषु प्रजातिरमृतमानन्द इत्युपस्थे सर्वमित्याकाशे तत्प्रतिष्ठेत्युपासीत प्रतिष्ठावान् भवति तन्मह इत्युपासीत महान् भवति तन्मन इत्युपासीत मानवान् भवति तन्नम इत्युपासीत नम्यन्ते स्मै कामाः तद्ब्रह्मेत्युपासीत ब्रह्मवान् भवति तद्ब्रह्मणः परिमल इत्युपासीत पर्येण म्रियन्ते द्विषन्तः सपत्नाः पर्ये प्रिया भ्रातृव्याः स यश्चायं पुरुषे यश्चासावादित्ये स एकः स य एवंविद अस्माल्लोकात् प्रेत्य एतमन्नमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं प्राणमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं मनोमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं विज्ञानमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतमानन्दमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य इमान् लोकान् कामान्निकामरूप्यनुसञ्चरन् एतत्सामगायन्नास्ते हा वो हा वो हा वो अहमन्नमहमन्नमहमन्नम् अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादः अहग्गश्लोककृदः गश्लोककृदः श्लोककृत् अहमस्मि प्रथमजारुतास्य पूर्वं देवेभ्यो अमृतस्य न भाई यो मा ददाति स इदेव मा वाह अहमन्नमन्नमदन्तमाद्मि अहं विश्वं भुवनमभ्यभवाम सुवर्णज्योतिः य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषत्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ओम अथ श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदो ओम यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान्नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ओमथ शिक्षावल्ली प्रथमोऽनुवाकः शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ चतुर्थोऽनुवाकः वेदाकामनार्थे श्रीकामार्थे जप होम मन्त्राः ॐ यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय आवहन्ते वितन्वाना कुर्वाणा चिरमात्मनः वासागंसि मम गावश्च अन्नपाने च सर्वदा ततो मे श्रियमावह लोमशां पशुभिः सह स्वाहा आमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा विमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा प्रमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा दमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा शमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा यशोजने सानि स्वाहा श्रेयान्वस्य सोसानि स्वाहा तन्त्वा भगप्रविशानि स्वाहा समाभगप्रविश स्वाहा तस्मिन् सहस्रशाखे निभगाहन्त्वयि मृजे स्वाहा यथा पप्रवतायन्ते यथा मासा अहर्जरम् एवं मां ब्रह्मचारिणः धातरायन्तु सर्वतः स्वाहा प्रतिवेशोऽसि प्रमाभाहि प्रमापद्यस्व वेद mantras vedartha. It's only by the Vedamata Kripa, the Veda Rishi Kripa, that we will be able to understand. And our own Guru Upasana, Ishtadaiva Upasana, the more seriously, sincerely, deeply we do, only with their grace, the Antakarana Shuddhi, Shuddha Sattva Guna, in that Shuddha Sattva Guna also, with that only, what is said and why it is said, and what is the sadhana to be done in that, what is the thing to be understood through that, these great things happen to us. Therefore, we have invoked the grace of the entire Rishi Parampara, Guru Parampara, Devata Parampara, prayed to them to keep all our faculties intact, asked them to give us the special Medha Shakti, which can hold on to the Prajna, the Brahma Jnanam. We also ask for the different resources, wealth, Shri, so that we perform continuously outer obligations, outer all the yajna upasana, so that our inner bosom becomes Shuddha, thus we become qualified for Brahma Jnanam. And this has to be a single pointed attempt of our spiritual sadhana. We should take it up as the only mission in life. Only then we'll be able to involve in doing everything intensely, sincerely. Then only we'll be able to do it also. Then only the result we start seeing. What result we are expecting is, first of all, what is said by the Rishi in the Upanishad, the theoretical aspect of what sadhana they are telling, what goal they are indicating, that clarity must come to us. Then that clarity should later on lead to the inspiration that we must follow only this path for our emancipation, and for this only we came. After these two are done, we are fully involved only this one, 24 into 7, all through the life, till that sublime truth is discovered. This called is the clarity which we have to have with the blessings of the rishis. So the first clarity of what is said in the Upanishad, what is the sadhana indicated in that, we are trying to understand. In that pursuit, we have understood Shanno Mitra, the meaning and what is said in that and the purpose. Then we understood the Shiksham Vyakhya Syamaha, what are the details given in that and what is to be done with that and what is to be achieved. Then we came to the Samhita Upanishad or Upasana, Atag Tasagamhitaya Upanishadam. There we saw the Panchadikaranas were given for doing the outer Samhita Upasana, and the result of that is to develop a vision of seeing the Purva Rupa, Uttara Rupa coming together in creating something. So, this is a universal thing that is keeping on happening. In that, wherever we fit, whatever is our job, we just do it a part of the total. More than that, we don't have any importance value given. Like if it is you are a Mata, then be the Purva Rupam, that's it. You are a Pita, be the Uttara Rupam, that is. You are a Praja, then be the Sandhi, then the Prajananam Sandhanam. In that way, our role in the world, after understanding what is happening in the world and sticking only to that, not allowing the mind to project anything further, that is what is the Vyahruti Upasana's phala. If that is done, we are told that Brahma Varsasena Annadhyena Suvargena Lokena. These are the beautiful results that incur if one does sincerely this Samhita Upanishad or this Upasana already is done. We are that Upasana. After that, we have come to the Meda Prarthana. Very clearly, we exhaustively studied that we need that Meda, the Prajna, to hold on to Paramatma in our heart as the goal and means and pursuit. All the time, other than that, nothing. To be able to do that, we should have no obligations in our heart. Obligations in terms of vasanas, habits, or even the impurities, whatever. All of them can go away only when we do the due operations. The due operations are yajnas. The yajna upasana are done when we have the wealth of various sources. The human resource wealth, the cattle resource wealth, as well as the material thing. So we asked for that in our second part of the Chaturthonvaka, where Avahanti Vitanvana mantras were used. Up to this is the outer upasana. What I meaning outer upasana? Living outer life to become qualified to become introverted. After this is done, like the wife at home, mother, she does all our outer work. Then at 11:30, she makes herself qualified, prepared to sit in front of the TV or to any of her hobbies or for her own work, anything outside. Till that work is done, she will not relax. Once it is done, she will go for the next one. In the same way, with the four anuvakas, if thoroughly done, we have finished all our outer obligations, outer compulsions, outer needs, outer necessities, and also with that purification of the heart to some extent is gained. Now we become qualified for our introverted sadhanas. In the introverted sadhanas also, there are only two steps. One step is the inner sadhana for further subtlety, further purification, etc. And then next, the innermost sadhana, contemplating on the truth and knowing the truth. The contemplation and knowing of the truth would be told to us in the subsequent anuvakas. In the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth anuvakas, we are told to do the inner first sadhana of the inner upasanas so that our inner more purity and more subtlety is gained within us. And that is mentioned here as the Vyahruti Upasana. In the Vyahruti Upasana, the मोटे तौर पर हमने देख लिया कि outer and inner all experiences are happening because of the trio or the triputi. And always there is the fourth thing which is supporting these three. So far we are lost only in these three, never cared for the fourth. Now the inner upasana is to care for the fourth, observing the fourth, knowing the greatness, grandness of the fourth, understanding that this is the main substratum depending on which the other three are happening. Rather, the fourth alone is the truth, the reality, the other three are only superimposed on that. In this way, this is called inner upasana. It's an effortful upasana inside where the easily unseeable fourth thing we are recognizing. Easily unseeable but existing fourth thing. That all the parts are seeable easily, but the mud is not easily seeable. Why? Because the attention is on the parts. That is because of habits, that's because of vasanas, that is because of so many desires. All of that are eliminated by the first four anuvaka, upasana, external. Now, if that is truly done, then we become fit for the fourth, the inner upasana, where our attention is always on the fourth. I told you so many examples we saw. When we see a beautiful grove of mango trees, if the attention is on the mango fruits, so we are at the external level. If the attention is on the farmer who brought it out or on the Lord who blessed it, then we are in the fourth. In the mango tree, you see the tree, you see the fruits, but you don't see the Karshaka or the farmer who brought it up. You don't see the Bhagavan whose principle is working in that. The ability to see the farmer when we see the mango grew is called as the Upasana of the fourth Vyahruti. In the same way, the food is on the dining table. While eating the food, the source of the food, it may be the woman of the house who made it, or it is the Lord only who allowed her to made it. If the drishti goes on to that, then we are doing the Upasana of the fourth. The difference between this outer example, the inner sadhana is, in the outer example, even though you focus your attention on the homemaker and you thank her for her wonderful dishes, but the attention is on eating the food because that is an external example, external activity. But with regard to the inner upasanas of the Vyahruti, while doing the attention on the fourth, unlike the outer things are important, like in the food aspect, we thank her, but we don't eat her. We eat food only. There, the eating food is the important thing. Obviously, she made it, so thank her, so that she is encouraged. She'll make again and again. If that is not done, then you only eat the food and go away without gratitude to her. Then she will not like it. Then she will not make it next time. So that's the example. There, the example of food, the maker, the food is the three Vyahrutis. She is the fourth Vyahruti. Attend to her for your own further good food. That's what is the outer thing. Example is fit for only half of it. The remaining half may, there we eat the food, not her. In the case of the inner upasana, the fourth Vyahruti is our goal, not the first three. First three we have to become conscious of, and we have to see that we are involving in that only so far. Then we have to focus on the fourth one because of which these three are happening, and our attention is to become more and more aware of the fourth. Give more and more importance to the fourth. Value that only. Finally, what we discover is that fourth is we. Our goal is to discover that Chaturthi, that is me. And that Chaturthi ultimately is that Parabrahma who is beyond all the three dehas or three koshas or three avasthas are those three individualities. But before that, the training is given in 3 or 4 exercises that we have to consciously do. So, what will the Anuvaka 5 and 6 does for us? It will mention the three Vyahrutis. Then it will say that this great Rishi discovered the fourth Vyahruti, which is substratum of this. Later on, it is discovered that that fourth is Brahma, Brahma is Atma. That Brahma and Brahma is Atma will follow every time, but not predominantly. Predominantly, it will be followed little later. In the beginning, what is done? In the same way as these three Vyahrutis are there and the fourth Mahavyahruti is there, so to do the Upasana inside about what is there in the world which you see. Among them, this is the first Vyahruti, second is third, the fourth one is the Mahavyahruti. In this way, keep on doing some practice training so that you are specifically clear about these three things that are there, specifically clear about the fourth one, and the fourth one is the cause for the three. All that is what is happening. The lethargic intellect is made to be active. The active intellect is made to be thinking. In the thinking itself is upasana. Here, in the thinking, we are seeing the three vyahrutis, we are seeing the fourth one, and in because the fourth, the third is there. It's just like we said, the dish is available, you ate it on the dining table. But the dishes are available there, and so too the raw vegetables are there. So we are able to attend to this with intellect, that these are the raw vegetables which are the substratum cause for the dish that is ready on the dining table for me to be serving and eating. This intellectual exercise. Generally, what happens, see the food, tempted by the food, eat the food. We are not attending to how the food is made. The food is made because of all those vegetables, the raw vegetables. So the inquiry about the raw vegetable, like we are eating the food from last 70, 100, 200, 3000 years. Generally, the husband, itne saal wife is cooking, is eating, we doesn't know with what ingredients the food is made. खाता जाता है लेकिन पूछो उनको क्या क्या है इसमें. दो चार चीजें विल टेल बट ऑल द अदर मिर्च मसालास, how she made them, how she added, he doesn't know. And also how the cooking is done, he is never bothered. He doesn't know even peeling of any of the aloo. And yet he can eat the food throughout life. In the same way, we are involving in the life without thinking subtly what is that which is making the life possible along with all its ingredients. That intellectual inquiry is called inner upasana. After that, only the delusion of taking one for the other goes away. In other words, what is the truth, what is correct, what is reality, we will be able to apprehend, which is the final goal. The final goal is to apprehend the truth as it is, the reality as it is. Who will apprehend the truth as it is? Only the intellect. Now, intellect is dull-witted, it is sleeping now. It is not at all doing the thinking or inquiry. Now, through the outer upasana, to some extent, it is awakened and made active. Now, through the inner upasana, for a long time, the intellect is made more active, more alive, more subtler, in which we are unambiguously knowing that the vegetables are the cause, the raw ones, and the sabji is there, that one which is the effect. Otherwise, we only eat the sabji without knowing which are the causes. So the vegetables, the masalas, the patila, the fire, and so many things, the waters, itne जाकर बना है वो भोजन. Here also, the fourth is the vyahur thing because of the three are done. Our attention was only on the three earlier. Fourth was not seen. Fourth is the truth. Fourth is the reality. For the sake of the fourth only, the three are there. From the fourth only, the three have come. In the fourth, there are no problems. In the three, there are only problems. Therefore, reaching to the fourth is a realization. Like in Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti, there are problems. But in the Turiya Avastha, there is no problem. So too in the seer, seen, seeing, there is a problem. Problem of temporariness, problem of limitations. But in the Suddha Sakshi, who is a Sakshi of all these three, these problems are not there. The limitations are not there. The birth and death concepts are not there. The fears, miseries are not there. And what you and I as a jiva are seeking are this only. The problem called birth, death, all of them should not be there. So that is apprehended, that experience is gained when we understand our inner self. Before going to the inner self analysis, the inner upasana is trained. Through the upasana only slowly we are introduced with the fourth thing as our own self. Before the self is explained, the one whom you are calling as me now, that jiva is apprehended. So through the upasana, we are freeing from the clutches of three and giving importance to the fourth one. After that, when the intellect is awakened, with that the presence and understanding about the jiva is made, then within the jiva only the Paramatma is there. The training is given to us. And definitely this subject, this study is totally different from what life we were living so far. Therefore, it appears to be new, it appears to be vague, it appears to be difficult. All that is inevitable. Like any new subject you enter into, you are a historian, let us say, suddenly you are told to take a mathematics class. It is absolutely different world altogether. Definitely, a person who is martial artist वाला है, उसको सडनली भरतनाट्यम करो बोले तो some of the things he may match, but the subject is new. But once he learns the first two, three steps of Bharatanatyam and does it, then he becomes familiar with it. In the same way, you and I, who are living only with the Dehatadhyatma in the world of objects as an intelligent person, prompted by the desires, for us to lift our intellect to a totally different level of inquiring about what exactly happening, who is the substratum because of which everything happening, lifting intellect to that level is absolutely a new subject, a tough subject, a difficult subject. But that's what the Mahatmas did. Or that's what those who did, they became Mahatmas. They were also involved, like you and me, in routine of getting up in morning, hunting the food and eating it and sleeping. Later on, when they started inquiring where the outer world is coming from, where the inner world is coming from, when generations of generation, when they contemplated, then they apprehended the truth, and in its presence only everything is happening. And that experience they wanted to express in the form of the words, the way the mantras came out. Then they taught it to their disciples subsequently. That time only it was teaching. At the time of Vedavyasi, then he remembered with his Meda Shakti, he himself is Bhagavad Swarupa, collected all the Vedas and gave in the form of these four Vedas. What I'm saying is, those people were also like us in the beginning, but then they took up that challenge of inquiring the substratum. Therefore, they reached and they got liberated. So too you and I. Unless we take up the challenge of inquiring in the truth and realize it, we will not be liberated from the untruth. The process of this realization is upasana. Everything is upasana. Upasana means knowing what's happening and involving in that, or knowing what to do and involving in that. In case of Daiva Upasanas, knowing what to do and doing that. Knowing what, if there is a Vigraha of the Lord whom I have devotion to, and I am developing or expressing my devotion by doing the Upasana, which has this Dhyana Avana, these steps. This is the doing Upasana. What we are doing here is very knowing Upasana. Wherein, what are the three Vyahruti that are there, and what is the fourth Vyahruti that is supporting it? Among these two, which is important, which is secondary. Like in the Drusha Viveka, it is the knowing Upasana, where we are trying to know what is the Drusha, what is Drukka, and what is the relation between Drukka and Drusha. There is nothing to do, there is only to think or understand. That thinking understanding, which is taking to the reality, is also called Upa and Asana. Because we are told by the word Upasana, only the external Upasanas, we get stuck up only in that meaning. When the Guru says the new meaning, we fail to catch it. When he is telling Upasana, where is Chandana Kumkum? That is what we think, because for us Upasana is Chandana Kumkuma. Then we have to redefine it. Upa means near, asana means sitting near to the inner self or the real truth. That is Upasana. For that, every time the outer activity is only not required. In fact, what is mainly required is the inquiry and understanding only. So, through the inquiry, through the vicharna, through the understanding, we are nearing to the exact facts what are happening. What is happening is the fourth Vyavruti is supporting the three Vyavrutis. Put together, the world is appearing. Among them, the attention because of the grossness only on the three Vyahrutis, and we are not attending the fourth one. When you reach the fourth is the truth. The other three are depending on that. देन जिसको वैल्यू करना है हम उसी को वैल्यू करने वाले होते हैं, जिसको कम वैल्यू करना है उसको कमी करते हैं. Therefore, the misplaced values which were causing the bondage, it will not be there. Like in life, we have friends and we have the gurus. We value the friends. With that, what do we get? We only get that. But when you value the gurus, through them the jnana comes. So when you realize that, naturally you value the guru more. From him you gain the knowledge and realize. Everywhere it is so. जानना है, फिर जिसको वैल्यू करने से फायदा होता है इसको वैल्यू करना है, उसके द्वारा वो फायदा पाना है. Here also, the fourth one is a truth reality. We have to realize it. So in this Upanishad, this Vyahruti Antarupasana Prakriya is taught to us. It's not the only one. In the Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, the Upasana of the Omkara is taught to us. In the Katha Upanishad, we are taught the different Upasana. You know, in this Prashna Upanishad, the Panchama Upasana, fifth mantra gave us a different Upasana. Everywhere we are given the Upasana sadhanas. So here this is the adopted technique. Now we are doing first the chanting of it, then we will enter into Bhashyas, Bhashyakara's Bhashya, and we will try to catch what it is. We explained yesterday the literal meaning of this mantra, if you really remember. Om chanted भूर्भुवस्सुवरिति वा एतास्तिस्रो व्याहृतयः तासामुहस्मैतां चतुर्थीं माहाचमस्य प्रवेदयते मह इति तद्ब्रह्म स आत्मा अंगान्यन्या देवताः भूरिति वा अयं लोकः भुव इत्यन्तरिक्षं सुवरित्यसौ लोकः मह इत्यादित्यः आदित्येन वाव सर्वे लोका महीयन्ते. This much is said, then the Bhashya is being given to us by Lord Bhagavan Adi Shankara. Now what is we are doing? After doing the outer Upasana, we are doing the inner Upasanas. And step by step, beautifully, Bhagavan Bhashyakara says, it's only little subtle antakarana, buddhi we have, then we'll be able to catch it. And put an attempt to understand. If it doesn't happen, never mind. And this is where, such are the portions where we have to realize that unless Ishvara Guru Krupa is there, these things, though we are studying, listening, still we don't understand them. Like in Purura Upakyanam, so much we are studying about the Prativaksha Bhavana, Dosha Drushti. And yet, unless our goal is Pakka to get liberated, unless our devotion to Lord Krishna as well as the Bhagavatacharyas is very Pakka, this knowledge doesn't घुसो inside. वो ऊपर ऊपर रहकर भूल जाते हैं, वो बाहर चले आता है. If their grace is there, they push this information as knowledge inside us. Then we feel that, yeah, it's talked about me. I am the one who is caught up in these Pururava Urvashi, all these Urvashi and all that. So I must do the Prativaksha Bhavana and this Dosha Dushti. I must get out of it. That thought never occurs. It is as if some kahani sun rahe, hum cinema sun rahe. ऐसा ही लगता है वो. Because Krupa of Guru Bhagavan is not there. We have not prayed to them. When they pray, then they give us this idea. They are the ones I have to do it because this is the way by which I get out of all attachments and then I can do my meditation to know the truth. In the same way, here also are the portions where we have the Guru Ishvara Kripa when we pray to them, that we will be able to catch them. Some of the portions appear to be very easy, yet we don't do them. Some appear to be very tough. Anyway, we don't do them. ठीक है. सो फर्स्ट सेंटेंस ओम भूर्भुवः सुवः इति वै एताः तिस्रः व्याहृतयः तासाम् ऊह स्मैतां चतुर्थीं माहाचमस्यः प्रवेदयते मह इति तत् ब्रह्म स आत्मा अंगानि अन्या देवताः. And this is a fact that is happening, which Mahasamasya discovered. Same fact it is happening in us also. we have to discover. That effort to discover what is said by the discovered by Mahachamasya Rishi and what is said by this Upanishad Rishi is our upasana. So one by one. First, bhuhu bhuvaha suvaha iti. इतना ही है ना. So what is said here? Bhur bhuva su. I am reading no Bhashyam. Bhur bhuva suvaha iti. Bhuhu bhuvaha suvaha are these three words. Okay, iti. इतना ही है, iti. What is the meaning of iti word? Iti means ukta upapradarshanaarthaha. The word iti is used to say that these words were variedly, very much, very frequently used. In the earlier portions of the Veda, Guru very much knows them and he taught the disciple all these. They were iti कहते हैं, उनको समझ में गया, हाँ हाँ ये सब हमको पहले बताए थे, हमको नहीं बताए थे क्योंकि हम नहीं पढ़े थे, इसलिए हमको नहीं लगते. So the children, when they were in the school, when they were in the Gurukula Ashrama, before they become qualified for the Upanishad, they were given the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Upasana, when we were doing, they were told about the Vyahruti there in the beginning only. Om Bhor Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. The moment the word iti is uttered, the disciples understood, oh, these Bhurbhosvaha which Guru uttered now are those Bhurbhosvaha which we used to so frequently chant before the Gayatri. So the Bhurbhosvaha are only the three words, three names. Please remember. Then those three words, three names, in the very first meaning, they are the Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka. Clear? Thereafter, these Bhurbhosvaha 3 are all the Triputis in the world. Among them, 4 5 are taught here for us to do the Upasana. In that, what is the Upasana done? In the given set of 4 things, each one is compared with each one of them. And the substratum is told as the fourth one. Our attention should slowly develop on the fourth one. So, iti means ukta upapradarsanarthaha, is to tell that these Bhurbhosvaha are, oh my dear, familiar to you. And you and I also have chanted this so many times. The Gayatri mantra starts from Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Na Prachodayat. These are the 24 aksharas which make Gayatri. But before that, these three Vyahrutis are used. Bhur Bhuva Swaha is only utterance. To that utterance, we can give name later on, the meaning later on. Then the Bhuhu means Bhuloka. Bhuva is Bhuvarloka. Swa Swarloka. Like Om is only an utterance. Then it is later on given the name, this is the name of the God. It has got the three matras. Then each of the matras, Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti. Then you have to merge all these three avasthas into the three matras. Then each matra in the subtle matra, then all in the amatra. But all started with Om. What is started with Om? Like in the earlier also, Yash Chandasam Rishabho Vishwarupaha, he was the Omkara only, whom we have addressed. After that, we said he is the Chandasam Rishabha, he is Vishwarupaha. Then Chandobhya, the Amrutat Sambhabuva, Samendeva. These are all the description about the one who was named as Om. Om is only name. Who is that Om? Like when you say Ram. Who is Ram? Then we say Dasharatha Putra, Sitapati, then Ayodhya Palaka, then Dharma Samstavaka, then Saptama Avadaraha. No, these are all later on explanations of the Rama. Is it not? Same way, Bhurbhuvasva are told. Then the later on explanations. Okay. Now, Ukta Upapradarsanartha iti. So, Bhurbhuvasva iti. Up to this we have seen. Bhurbhuvasva are the three words. Iti means you are familiar with them. Now the next one, Etaha Tisraha. What is Etaha Tisraha? Iti Pradarsinanam Paramarshartaha. Means Iti Pradarsitanam Paramarshartaha. Means what? These are the things we are now taking into account for our Upasana. So, इति प्रदर्शितानाम परामर्श अर्थ. ये जो तीनों जो बताया है ना, उसका परामर्श के लिए तीसरा बताया है. तीसरा means, no, these we are the ones we are using it for our upasana. Is it not? Like the so many things, instruments are kept there. Then among them, few are selected. Then those few things we start using for whatever the work. Like the mechanic, सारे spanners रखता है वहाँ. Among that, few he puts in attention because that day, if the repair is of the scooter, the instruments are different. It's for the car, it's a different one. Therefore, among if the car repair is doing a particular set of instruments, he attends to and he uses them. So too in the world there are number of words are there in the world. Among those number of words which are used for different purposes, three words we are taken out for our purpose of upasana. So first, the familiarity of the words is meant by the word iti. Words are said first. Bhur, bhuva, swaha, words are uttered. Iti, the familiarity is brought out. Then tisraha, by which we are taking this for our upasana, that specification is given. Like all the instruments are kept. Then the three we are attending to. Then all those three instruments we are using for our car repair. That is the meaning of etaha tisraha vyahrutayaha iti pradarshitana paramarshārthaha. Then paramrushtaha smaryante vai iti anena. Now to bring our attention more to that these three vyahrutis, bhurvasvaha, the vai is the shabda or akshara used. Vai means indeed. It is like this. My children, do you remember we spoke about the three Vyahrutis? Yes. Now those three Vyahrutis only now we are using for Upasana. Do you understand it? That I am telling you that we are using these three Vyahrutis for the Upasana. That is called as Iti, Tisraha, Vai. The purpose of these words which are used there. भूर्भुवस्सुवरिति वा एताः तिस्रः व्याहृतयः. The simple meaning is भूर्भुवस्सु are the three vyahrutis. Why the word iti tisraha? Why word क्यों यूज किया? भगवान कह रहे भाई पहले बता चुके, तुमको फेमिलियर है उसका, अब उसको हम ले रहे हैं यहाँ. Then specifically we are using it. Therefore, why means don't miss your attention on that. That's what is taught in the school when they are taught the alphabets in the beginning. Then they teach with the alphabets the words. Then when they give the dictation, they utter the word. When they utter the word, the children will have to think, this word has come out because of these letters. Then they remember those letters and write. If all the letters are properly written, that word which is dictation given is written right, then the marks. Koi miss ho gaya, then he'll not get marks. So here the why means what? Be attentive that we are using these three vyavrutis which are known by you, earlier taught by you for our upasana. Smaryante vai iti anena. So tisraha etaha prasiddhaha vyahrutayaha. Among the so many, everything is a vyahruti. Vyahruti is an utterance. Every name is a vyahruti. Among all those utterances, these three vyahrutis, bhurvoswar prasiddhaha. It is traditionally coming from the Vedic period onwards. So, bhurvasvaha etaha tisraha vyarutayaha. This is what is the last sentence said. Tisraha etaha prasiddhaha vyahrutaha smaryante tavat. तो आपको इतना जो हमने 10 मिनट से पढ़ा है उसका अर्थ क्या है? याद रखो कि तीन व्याहृतियां हैं. 3 utterances are there. 3 words are there coming out of our mouth. Bhuhu, bhuvaha, swaha. Now, tasam, now be attentive. Here comes the inquiry. Tasam. Among those 3, iyam chaturthi vyahrutihi maha iti. Other than these 3 vyahrutis which are uttering, there is the 4th vyahruti which is called as mahaha. An additional 4th vyahruti is added. So what we are familiar with so far? Bhurvosvaha. What is the added one, the 4th one? Iyam chaturthi vyahruti mahaiti. Who added this, the 4th vyahruti, to the already familiar 3 vyahrutis? Mahachamasya, tam etam chaturthim. This 4th vyahruti called as the maha. No, these four are being used subsequently. उसके लिए इंट्रोडक्शन दिया जा रहा है. Three are familiar to you. Fourth is discovered by the Mahachamasya. Now, these four Vyahrutis we are using now subsequently for the Upasana, the inner Upasana, in which is what is the each of the Vyahruti we are going to tell you. आप इसका बाय हार्ट कर लेना, मतलब आप इसका स्टैंडर्ड में, मतलब स्ट्रांगली उसका भावना करना है. दैट इज द उपासना. So, all the people so far were doing only the upasana of the three Vyahrutis. Bhurvuvas, Bhurvasvaha. These are the three Vyahrutis familiar to all. A Rishi came by name Mahachamasya. Who is he? Mahachamasasya avatyam. Mahachamasya. Mahachamasa is a Rishi. His son was Mahachamasya. He is the one Pravedayate, very thoroughly inquired and then gave the fourth Vyahruti called as Maha. Now, what must have gone through him when he gave the fourth one? You understand? These three, when they are distinctly individual, independent, three utterances are done, then there must be a substratum for these three. Now, be attentive here. All the crux, all the essence is here only. Very careful. When he observed the three Vyahrutis, three are distinctly different from each other. Now, when three distinctly different things are there, each other coming sequentially and going, they must be supported by, substantiated by the fourth one. Be careful, which is not influenced by the three, and which should be the substratum of the three, and which should be in and through those three. And to bring our attention to that, it is mentioned as if the fourth, and it is given a name. Exactly what we did in Mandukya Upanishad. So there we are familiar about the Vishwa or Jagrada Avastha. We are familiar about Swapna Avastha. We are familiar about the Sushupti Avastha. Now these were coming and going, each of them. These three exclusive things, if they are coming and going, who is the one who is knowing all these three coming and going? Be attentive. He cannot be one of the three. At the same time, he should not be influenced by any of the three. More important is what? For him to know all these three, he must be in and through all those three. And to make us recognize about the presence of him, we are just given the name as if he is the Chaturtha, as if he is Turiya. This Turiya, the example was in Karshapanat na Gauhu Iva. In the beginning only, Bhashyakara gave us. The fourth pada called Turiya is not like the fourth leg of the cow, which is the other than the three legs. But it is like the one rupiness in which the other three are there. Karshapan का example देखा हमने कि 1 रुपए में 12 अट्ठानी और 54 ये तीनों जैसे रहते हैं. This is the fourth one, really, explanation. So, when we say the fourth, always it's a tendency for us to understand the fourth is separate from the three. And it is true in the world. The चौथा बंदा आया मतलब तीसरे के अलग वाला है. Here क्या है? The fourth one is not the separate other than the three, as if the three are there other than the fourth. The point is, the fourth alone is the only one on whom the three are imposed. Last in which we have forgotten this one. So वो है बताने के लिए, like we say Lord Rama, Lord Krishna. Lord Rama and Lord Krishna is who? Who is other than the world? Other than the world, he is not the Rama Krishna. The whole world is nothing but superimposition Rama Krishna only. But to know that there is somebody, something other than the three worlds, to bring our attention, be attentive, to bring our attention to the one, he is mentioned as the fourth. Once our attention is on him, be attentive. When the attention is more and more on him, we become very closer in recognizing him. After recognizing him, when you look back, either those three will not be there, or if they are there, they are not separate from this one. Like once we discover the conscious self in us, the Jagra Sapna Sushupti Avasthas or the Vishwa Teja Prajna are none other than Him. This is realization of self. What was there earlier? The fourth one was really forgotten, the real self. The other three only we are taking it as real, that is the Jiva. And that's why we are suffering continuously. So here also, when Mahachamasyaji thought, like the Manduka Rishi, there is a fourth one on which these three are based. Then he has discovered it. He experienced it. Then he want to convey it to others. Others are caught up only in the three. Then naturally, whenever you have to convey whatever you know, what do you use other than the words? Nothing. Word only use karte ho. Therefore, he called it as Maha. This Maha is the fourth Vyaaharuthi discovered by Mahachamasya, the son of Mahachamasya, as the substratum of the three, not other than the three. Because when three are there, there must be something. Three or four or five, 10. जहाँ भी कोई भी गिनती होता है वो एक या दो से लेकर 2 लाख 2 करोड़ तक का हो देर मस्ट बी सम एंटिटी अदर देन दैट नंबर which is supporting all of them because of whom they are present as well as they are counted. This is the new thought we are given today in this class. Any multiplicity, plurality should be supported by the something which is other than those multiplicities, which is permeating in and through those things. Then only the cognization of the multiplicity will happen. Clear? What is that when you inquire? Ultimately, it is found to be my own conscious self. अब वहां तक हम नहीं पहुंचे धीरे धीरे जा रहे हैं। पहले हम उपासना में धीरे धीरे जाना है ना सडनली आत्मा ब्रह्म बोले तो समझ में नहीं आता slowly you have to develop the topic. In that topic, the first logic is what? The multiplicity, multiple things will always have the support of one thing. When we inquire what is that one thing, then we'll come to know it is Atma, it's a Brahma. And from that standpoint, everything will be mithya. That is our ultimate goal. But पहले तो तीन से हटकर चौथा एक है जो महाचमस्य रुचि ने पता किया उसका अब उपासना करो. And Upasana is done what is said by Mahachamasya Rishi, not because he did it, not because he told it, but it is the fact. Like when the car driving teacher teaches that this is how you have to put the clutch and brake. We don't do that putting of the clutch and brake, etc., because he told. Though he told. We do it because that is how the vehicle is to move. Which we didn't know, then he told. Like living a life of values. Guru taught us. We live the value of lives not because Guru taught us. Though in the beginning we have to do, later on we know that we are living the values of life because they are the ones which make us wonderful. बोलने वाला महाचमस होगा बट महाचमस जी ने बोला इसलिए हम नहीं कर रहे हैं कर रहे हैं क्योंकि वो फैक्ट है एंड व्हाई महाचमस सेड बिकॉज़ इट्स अ फैक्ट how it is a fact just now we use the logic that whenever there are variables there is one substratum which is not part of the variable to support it. Are you understanding the main point? Why the Maha is introduced when we were happily living in Burva Swaha? Because of the wanting to transcend the triple and go to the ultimate, and also by using the logic that there must be something substratum. That's what. In the beginning days, everybody saw the world, multiplicity of the world. One of them inquired, अब इतना देख रहे कौन देख रहा है इतनी चीजों को? In that inquiry, they found the thing which is other than all this seen as substratum of all of that. Like in me also. The seeing of the object is happening, object is seen, I am the seer. All these three I know. Who is the one who is knowing all these three? A inquiry will come naturally to a person who is calm and quiet, no? No, through the outer upasanas, the Rishi became calm and quiet. Therefore, naturally in him, an inquiry came. These three are there. Who is the one who is seeing all the three? Who is the one because whom all the three are happening? Naturally, he found something. He found that महाचमस्य ने जो पता किया वो परब्रह्म ही है. He got realized, but he didn't know that he is realized. But he want to say that experience as something. He said it as Maha because in तीनों से महान है वो. Why that word is called as Maha? It will be told to us. And when he referred that to the Upanishadic knowledge of the truth, what is said in the Upanishad as Brahma, again is what he said as Maha, appear to be the same. Then he matched both of them. Yaar, meri Maha hi tumhari Brahma hai. Your Maha alone is Brahma. That will be the next sentence of this Upanishadic mantra. हम धीरे धीरे जा रहे. भूर्भुवस्वः इति एताः तिस्रः व्याहृतयः तासाम ऊहस्मैताम चतुर्थीम महाचमस्य प्रवेदयते मह इति. Up to this we are focusing today. Then slowly tad brahma sa atma anganyanya devata, all that we come to. Now, while doing so, what exactly is done by Mahachamasya Rishi, what we have to do, which will be called as Antara Upasana, we are telling. And all these only details. These details are used to do the Upasana when we are given these four examples later on. भूरितिवायं लोकः भुवरित्यन्तरिक्षं सुवरित्यसौ लोकः महिति आदित्यः आदित्येन वाव सर्वे लोका महीयन्ते. That will come later on. उसके लिए introduction there है. Like in the theory class, the master tells everything. Then he takes him to the lab. Then whatever is taught in theory, he is given the apparatus, he does the experiments, the physics or chemical or any warfare wala. In the class, he will show on the picture that this got a rifle, these are the bullet, this is a trigger, this is a barrel, this is where it is put to, this is how it is put to. सब कुछ theoretical बताएंगे. Then he will take them on to the field. Then they are shown. And first, they don't use original bullet, they dummy wale sab. After a long time of practice, when this is known, then they are taken to the range. In the range, then they are shown all the targets. First a 20-meter target, then 30 meters, then 60 meters, then the 90 is the maximum. You'll be able to hit the bullseye, the target. Understood? Here basically we are given an introduction here. In a layman's language, कि तीन व्याहृतियों को बोल ही रहे थे महाचमस्य ऋषि ने. सडनली उनको लगा तीनों के हटकर एक चौथा होना चाहिए, because the three cannot be without some fourth substratum supporting them. He discovered that. Then he wanted to name it. He called it as Maha. Then in his understanding, what was the point? It is Maha on whom all the three are dependent. He is Maha from whom all the three are coming. The Maha word is given later on. Experience is first to him. Then the naming ceremony, he did it as Maha. He inquired where from this Bhur are coming. Then he found something from where they are coming. Then that has to be told to others. When you have to tell, you name it, no? Like when you say wo lao, the one who is the listener, I must know what is the meaning of wo if it is everyday used word. Otherwise, it doesn't ask, wo kya hai batao? Then bata de wo gilas lao. You have to name Shamach lao. When you say something, then bring. Some name is to be given. So he experienced something other than the three, he named it as Maha. Up to this, you understand, that is enough. Then that Maha matched with the Brahma of the Upanishads. Now, before going to the Brahma Tattva, to be substantially established in Maha, the four exercises are given. And what are those four exercises are meant to for? To focusing our attention on the fourth, which was totally lost because of our busyness in the three. Entire Vedanta talks about the attention on the substratum, which is unseen, unseeable, on which the whole world is projected, which is tangible and seeable by us. And in the Ishvara, in the Jagat, and in me, which are familiar to me. I live the life only at this level. But all these three are substantiated, supported by the fourth Tattva Brahma. which we are not at all focusing because we are busy in these three only. This is called as non-thinking. This is called as moha. This is called as delusion. This is called as samsara. What is sadhana and siddhi? Understanding that there is a fourth one beyond Jiva Jagat Ishvara, knowing that he alone is the truth, other than him, all others are either unreal or only mithya. Therefore, they need not be valued. Therefore, when I don't value it, I am freed from the bondage. But the fourth is unseeable because it is your own inner subjective self. Unless these three are transcended, you can't experience the fourth. Therefore, all the sadhanas of Shravanam, Mananam, before that the Upasana, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, all of them are done to reduce the influence of the Jiva Jagadishvara on our substratum. After all that is done, then through Shravana Manana, we are guided our attention toward the self in us, which is so subtle, which is me only. Even to say that attend to yourself is a wrong language because how can you attend to yourself? You are you. But other than saying this way, no other way the Guru can tell. And somehow dhakka mukha kake, when the disciple tries to practice what Guru said, which is actually illogical, that I attend myself, suddenly some miracle happens. What is that? I discover myself. The moment the self is discovered, from that standpoint, we see that which was taken as real so far is unreal only, imaginary only. I was caught up so much in that unnecessarily. To convey this only, the example of rope and snake. Once the rope is discovered, Hare yaar, it is the rope only, innocent one, harmless. On that unnecessarily, I saw the snake and I was so much afraid. The earlier fears are understood to be non-called for and illusory. No more new fears come because the rope is known as rope. In the same way, when the self is discovered as self, all the not self is understood to be unreal. Then there is no samsara because we don't identify with the unreal now. Because the identifying the unreal as the real was the cause of every samsara. जैसे मैं आपसे दोस्ती करता हूँ, उसको लगातार रखना चाहता हूँ, उसके लिए मेहनत करता हूँ, वो कुछ हद तक होता है, नहीं होता है. This is called samsara. Actually, there's nobody like you other than me. When there's nobody like you other than me is there, where is the need of those things? Where is the effort of those things? Where is the effort to maintain the those things? Where is the frustration that the those is gone? You understand? We are caught up in the life of thee and me, and we are friends, and we should remain as friends eternal, which will never happen. That's called samsara. What is sadhana? Spiritual sadhana, not the worldly. Spiritual Vedantic शास्त्र is what? अरे कौन है दोस्त तुम्हारे अलावा, तुम ही सब कुछ हो. When I discover myself as everything, then the दोस्ती maintain करना नहीं, दोस्ती जरूरत ही नहीं है. That point I reached. The delusion goes away. That I am somebody, that fellow is somebody, I need his help, he should help me. These are all the delusions because of which I struggle to make him a friend. The struggle itself will go away, it's not required. Why do I make you as dost? Because I want to be happy. You are already self as a happy self, then you don't need that. This is how the Vedanta, and this you will not understand one day. You and I will have to think in this way for hundreds of lives. Slowly, then only it starts clicking. अभी तो दिमाग ही हमारा सीधा नहीं बना, शार्प नहीं बना, सटल नहीं बना, उसमें भरा हुआ तमस रजस. When become sattva guni, then we interestingly when we listen, slowly we start understanding what is said. That's the difficulty between the guru and disciple. The guru is teaching the mathematical formula, so easy for him. He has taught it to thousands of students and used that formula to solve so many problems. But these fellows just now came from 7th class to 8th class. उसका दिमाग अभी matured नहीं हुआ to catch that Pythagoras theorem. He's not understanding it. But repeatedly, when Guru teaches, he understands. After a lot of days, slowly he will understand. So, too, what we have to study after many lives of Upasana, we are studying now only. Then, how can we expect it immediately to be understood? Yet, we will not give up because the opportunity is given to us by the Guru Parampara. Using that, we are trying to analyze. In that, where we have come up to Purvasvariti va etaha tisraha vyahrutayaha tasa mohasmaya chaturtim mahachamasya pravedayate. The Mahachamasya very well thoroughly investigated because of some jignasa came in him. In that Jignasa, when he thoroughly investigated, he found the fourth one. And fourth, he called it as Maha. Okay? Up to this. Now, we are taking the help of Mahachamasya Rishi to do the Upasana. Luckily, we did not struggle like he struggled in the inquiry. We can use what he gave us as the basis for Upasana. When we do the Upasana, through the inquiry and struggle, whatever he reached, we also reach. Badhiya baat. He struggled to inquire about the fourth. We have to believe about the presence of the fourth. We need not struggle. Is it not? The struggle karke somebody discovered the electricity and utilization. You need not struggle to do all that. You just believe what he gave us. You put on the switch, the light will come. The current flowing thing, when you see put on the switches, all the phenomena, all the thing is the same when he discovered somebody. But he put all the effort. I need not put. I follow what he says, Ojat. Like the one who reached the destination, he tried, he struggled, he inquired, he took left, he took right. Somehow finally he reached. Now he came here. Now we want to go to same spot. We need not struggle like he struggled. He tells us, भाई मैं इधर उधर struggle किया नहीं हुआ वो सीधा गया वो बोलेगा भी नहीं सब तुम सीधा जाओ राइट जाओ पहुंच जाओगे. But when he went left, right, straight, forward. Then he found it. After finding, he told, go straight, take right. You go, follow him, then you reach destination. Like the Google Amma, she just found how to reach where. You follow her, you reach. Knowing it is inquiry, following it is upasana. He did inquiry and gave us, we just do upasana and we also reach. डिफरेंस देखो जो पहला बंदा वो जगह ढूंढने गया ही वॉज स्ट्रगलिंग टू फाइंड देन मी व्हेन आई फॉलो द गूगल वर्ड्स आई डिड नॉट स्ट्रगल आई ओनली स्ट्रगल ओनली टू फॉलो व्हाट शी सेज देयर इज नो इंक्वायरी और स्ट्रगल देयर इज ओनली फॉलोइंग द इंस्ट्रक्शन यू रीच here also he is going to give us a upasana that upasana will make us thorough later on to apprehend the truth which will be told. So bhurva surati eta tisraha vyahrutayaha. These are the three vyahrutis familiar to us. What is vyahrutis? Any of the triputi. Tasam asmaitam chaturtim mahachamasa pravedete mahiti. Among them, other than them, the fourth one was discovered by Mahachamasa Rishi. He called it as Maha. Now, that Maha which he experienced, we have not experienced. To experience, we have to do sadhana. In the sadhana, the contemplation meditation is the later one. Before that, we have to do the upasana. Upasana artha mantra ये सब है. उन्होंने कहा उन्होंने कहा सीधा जाओ राइट जाओ. हम गए नहीं अभी. He only told which he reached. We didn't go. But his direction we follow. That's called as upasana. We reach. But before following, do we believe in him or not? We believe, no? Then only we follow. Therefore, we are also believing here. Other than three, there is a fourth. It is called as Maha by the Mahachamasya Rishi. Then we are told to do the Upasana. Then we discover really. Like that, we follow the path as you said, go straight and take right. It's called following the Upasana. Then you reach what is said. So too, when we do the Upasana, we come to the Maha ourselves also. Discovering, we also discover the Maha. Beyond all the Triputi, they are the fourth substratum. Maha iti. हो गया तो तासाम इयम चतुर्थी व्यावृत्ति Maha iti. Among these three, there is other fourth Vyavruti, जिसका नाम है Maha. ताम एताम चतुर्थीम. This fourth Chaturthi Vyavruti, Mahachamasasya apathyam Mahachamasya pravedayate. He is a Mahachamasya Putra. Mahachamasya is the one who recognized it too. Uhasma iti etesham. Then what are the uhasmata words used there? Here uhasmata are the words iti etesham vrutta anukathana arthatvatu. Viditavan dadarsha ityartaha. The uhasma are the aksharas. To tell that historically it has happened. Means there was Mahachamasya Rishi definitely. He really inquired about it. Then he found the fourth one. He mentioned it as Maha. It is a fact, please remember. Because in communication of things, many a times the non-happening things also, impossible things also can be used for the communication. Here it is not the case. U, ha, smai are the words used to say that ye pakka hua, a historical fact. Specifically, he is saying to remove the doubt. ये ऐसे imagination किया होगा उन्होंने. Like when we study or teach children, the Panchatantra, the stories, there we talk about the animals talking to each other. But animals don't talk to each other, it never happens. But that's how use. It is not like that भैया ये दिमाग से ऐसे सोचकर नहीं लगा रहे. Really it is a historical fact. There was a Mahachavasya Rishi and he did inquire. Then he came to know the fourth one. He called it as Maha. Now why we have to say, insistingly say so? Only then we get the faith. Only we get that faith in that to do the upasana. उहस्मई उहस्मई मतलब पक्का हुआ था. Like any theorem is told, any of the work to be done, we hesitate to do it. But when we give an example, a factual example, then we get inspiration to do it. Here also, uhasmai means it really happened fact. It's an historical fact. There was a rishi, Mahachamasya, he thought over, he discovered it. Okay, etam, uhasma iti etesham vrutta anu kathana arthatvat. वृत्ता मीन जो हुआ, अनु मतलब उसको बाद में, कथन मीन्स बताना. जो ऑलरेडी हुआ उसका बताने के कारण विदितवान ददर्श इति अर्थः. That pravedayate meaning he has definitely seen it. He has definitely seen it. Therefore, we also will see if you do the upasana. To say that uhasma are the letters used. मतलब उन्होंने वो थे, उन्होंने किया, उनको मिला. इसलिए तुम भी हो, तुम भी करो, तुमको भी मिलेगा. So it is a historical fact from his standpoint. From our standpoint, when we trust him and do, we will also get to the result. To insist on that, all that uhasma are the letters used. ये पक्का हुआ था यार. हाँ मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, मैं कसम खाकर कह रहा हूँ. हाँ हूँ. हाँ घर में भी कहते हैं कि नहीं. Like, did you make this dish? When he asks, she says, हाँ. Again he asks, पक्का बताओ हूँ. She will say, what is हाँ हूँ? Only to prove to her him that मैंने ही बताया, करा, मैंने बनाया इसको. Here also uhasma. Ha is the main letter here. Ha is back factually it has happened. Like in the Hindi you say ha ha ha. In Sanskrit it is ha ha ha. Ha का अर्थ है संस्कृत में हुआ. From this ha word only, little carefully, itihasa word came. We talk about the itihasas, Mahabharata and Ramayana. Why they are called itihasa? There are the three letters in that, three words. Iti and ha and asa. Here, iti means in this way. Ha means verily. Asa means हुआ. Therefore, इतिहास में हा शब्द जितना very much ये हुआ करके कहता है, like रामायण. It is not an imaginary story. It is itihasa. There was Treta Yuga, there is Dasharath ji, there is Kausalya ji. They did the yagnam, the Ramoji was born. Then he went to Lanka, killed Ravana. ये सब हुआ exactly. Ha is a nipata to say vrittartha smaranartha nipatau. We studied this in Kathopanishad also. Why we are talking so much about this? For one, the Bhashyakara's Bhashya we are understanding. Second, why Bhashyakara is giving value to these particles, etc. They are all called as particles. Uha, smai. Why? Because only to specifically make us have faith that there was a rishi who did it, he found it. Therefore, we also walk that path, we reach it. आगे बताने वाले उपासनाओं को श्रद्धा से करने के लिए ये हिस्ट्री हुआ, उन्होंने पता किया, हम भी करें, हमको भी पता चलेगा, ये बात बता रहे. ठीक है, यहाँ तक हो गया. प्रवेदयते ऊहस्म इति एतेषां वृत्त अनुकथनार्थत्वात्. प्रवेदयते मीन्स विदितवान् मीन्स ददर्श इत्यर्थः. सो सबकी तरह वो भी 3 व्याहृतियों का उपासना कर रहे थे। सडनली उनके दिमाग में एक बिजली बजी, बिजली जली, तो ये 3 तो एक और होने से ही होना चाहिए। दैट लॉजिक ही अप्लाइड। देन विथ दैट लॉजिक व्हेन ही इंक्वायर्ड, he found the fourth one that he called as Maha. Therefore, this Uhasmai, these are the three letters, are telling about what? Telling about the facts. Which are the facts? Fact number one, three Vyahrutis are there, everybody was doing the upasana of that. Fact number two, Mahachamasya also was doing the upasana of them. Fact number three, he just paused and thought when the three are there, there must be something which should support it. Fact number five, he deeply inquired. Fact number six, he found it. Fact number seven, he named it as Maha. Now, the fact number eight is important. What is that? When we also inquire about the fourth one, which is other than the three, we also discover it. And the fact number nine is what? Before discovering it ultimately, we have to have faith in what is said. Therefore, we have to do the upasana. The tenth fact is with the upasana, when we have become strong enough to focus attention on the fourth other than the three, then we will be given the Brahma Vidya Upasana. Where the Panchakoshas are told, then the Panchakosha is the Parabrahma. When it is said, we will be able to do it there because we have done the Upasana here. With this Upasana training here given, that will be easier. If not done, it is difficult. Upasana mein belief in the fourth is strengthened. When the belief has become stronger, after the belief becomes stronger, the flavor of the inquiry will be different. There, the inquiry is not with the doubt now. The inquiry is, yes, it is there. What it is, I am pursuing. Like when he inquired that person how to go to that place, that person said. Then the movement after that is not with the doubt, only with the faith that in this direction I go, I reach it. In the same way, upasana kya they say when you do, that will be told in the next mantra. When we do lot of upasana on any of the human being as our friend, when the strength happens because of the upasana, that is my friend, then after that by calling him on phone or messaging him, all is depending on the strength of the upasana without any effort. क्योंकि उपासना के बल से anytime I'll call him because he's a friend. You can't call anytime your guru because guru से उपासना अलग है. The respect, reverence, the moment you go there, you salute. Understood? So, तासाम मोहस्मयताम चतुर्थीम महाचमस्य प्रमेयते महाइति. यहाँ तक हो गया है. Now, suddenly in the Upanishad specially, why did you bring the name of this Rishi Mahachamasya? The thing is, it's बहुत important topic. Listen, Mahachamasya Grahanam, the mentioning of the name of the Rishi, which is generally not done in the Upanishads. Katha batate jate satsang Vedant. But here the name of the Mahachamasya is taken specifically. Why? Arsha Anusmarana Artham. To do the smarana of the Rishi. Rishi is Arsha called. Arsha. Rishi becomes Arsha when it is used in one of the cases. Rishi Sambandita becomes Arsha. Like Rishi Vidya is called Arsha Vidya. And Arsha Vidya, trusts are there so many in the nation. Arsha matlab Rishi Sambandhi. Like Pandav means Pandu Sambandhi. Ayodhya Vasi means Ayodhya Sambandhi. Here also Rishi Sambandhi is Arsha. So Arsha Anusmaranartha means to remember the Rishi. Mahachamasya name is taken. Why should we remember the Rishi here? Oh my dear friend, Rishi Anusmaranam api upasana angam iti gamyate iha upadeshat. It is remembered and reminded to us that Rishi Smarana also is an anga of the upasana. That means what? Means the Rishi which he gave this one is eternally present. When his smarana is done, be attentive. Because of his blessings, because we did his smarana, our inquiry becomes subtle. In the same way, the truth also, which was revealed to that Rishi, when we thank that Rishi and remember him, becomes convenient to us because we remember the Rishi, the truth also reveals to us. In short, Rishi Smarana is the most important Upasana Angam. And that is why, when you chant Vishnu Sahasranama, don't we do that? Asya Sri Vishnu Divya Sahasranam Stotra Mahamantrasya Shri Veda Vyaso Bhagavan Rishihi Anushtup Chandaha Na Sankarshana Murti Swarupo. In that also, Atatmanam Shivatmanam Sri Rudra Rupam Dhyayet Shuddha Spatika Sankasam Trinetram Panchavakrikam Gangadaram Dashabhujam Sarvavarna Bhushidam. All of that when we do, then we do the Rishinyasa there also. Huh? Then, in that Rudram, Lagunyasam, when you do, don't we do that Rishi Smarana there? Any of the गायत्री उपासना गायत्री हवन आप कहते हो, ऐसा कोई भी नहीं है जिसमें ऋषि स्मरण नहीं होता है. So here also we have seen, here did अस्य श्री रुद्राध्याय प्रश्न महामंत्रस्य अघोर ऋषिः अनुष्टुप छंदः संकर्षण मूर्ति स्वरूपो योसावादित्य परम पुरुष शेष रुद्रो देवता. देखो तो ऋषि का स्मरण, देवता का स्मरण आर द इनएविटेबल पार्ट्स of the upasana. And without the upasana of Rishi Smarana, the tuning to the Rishi through that tuning to the subject of inquiry or upasana will not happen. Without that, this inquiry or the upasana cannot be done perfectly. Without that, the result will not come. The Bhashyakara is insistingly saying here, कि आर्ष स्मरणम उपासना अंगम ऋषि अनुस्मरणम अपनी उपासना अंगम इति गम्यते यह उपदेशात्. Now आपको याद आया भाई, हर क्लास में why do we remember all the Rishi and Muni? And mind you, you'll be laughing at me if I say, I'll tell you also, let me you laugh. It doesn't matter to me. To talk on Upanishad with Bhashya and to talk on Ramayana Bhagavatu is not my capacity. हम तो कुछ नहीं है जो हम जानते हैं. None of the sadhanas done, none of anything done. Yet for years together, if you are doing it, who is the one who is doing it? Is Guru Parampara, Rishi Parampara. Why? Because every day we are remembering. They are remembered for you and me, both of us, by both of us. Isliye, even you are able to come and trying your best to catch the essence is happening again because of the Rishi Krupa, because we are remembering them every day. देखो, महाचमस्य ऋषि का स्मरण, क्योंकि ऋषि स्मरणम अपि ऋषि अनुस्मरणम अपि, अनुस्मरणम मीन्स ऑल द टाइम, एवरी टाइम, अपि उपासनांगमिति गम्यते यह उपदेशातु. ओके, ऋषि स्मरण किया हमने, ओम महाचमस्याय नमः, ओम महाचमस्याय नमः, ओम महाचमस्याय नमः कर दी. Now after that, now this Maha alone is Brahma, Brahma alone is Atma, and to that Atma, Brahma and Maha, the Bhurbhasva are the Anga. This is a subject we have to thoroughly master. After mastering, now the 4 exercises are given for Upasana. Through that Upasana only, our attention is brought into our own heart, in which the presence of Jiva is there, that is made to recognize. Then that Jiva, when we comprehend, apprehend him, he is found to be this Brahma. That Brahma alone is everywhere. He is found to be the Atma, Atma alone is Brahma, Brahma alone is everywhere. Where are all these are happening? First in the intellectual understanding and faith, second in practicing the upasana, third in the experience. अभी हम intellectual understanding का struggle कर रहे हैं. After that, when you sit on the seat of meditation and meditate, that's called upasana. When you do that deeply, then you experience what that Mahachamasya experienced. What? Maha. And that alone is Brahma. That alone is Atma. That is an Angi. All these Vyahrutis are Angas. Mean the Parabrahma alone is reality. All the Triputis are superimposed on him. That will be recognized. Now, this is the way it has to be done. Though it appears to be difficult tough in Taittiriya, but Taittiriya Upanishad is the only one which is step by step telling us how to do. In other Upanishads, the Brahma Tattva is told in mantra, ना हमने कुछ समझा, ना हमने कुछ किया, ना कुछ हमने पाया. It appeared to be easy to understand, but the theoretical upasana, practical upasanas are not told there. थोड़ा थोड़ा बताया, ज्यादा नहीं बताया. बट यहाँ तो घट पकड़ पकड़ के हमसे करा रहे. If you do it. So tomorrow will be told Maha alone is Brahma and why. Brahma alone is Atma and why. And how to this Atma and Brahma and Maha? The other three Vyavrutis are Angas. And all this is a fact. Though it's a fact, unless we do Upasana, that won't get established in us. Like in a car driving, it's a fact that this is how you have to drive. But that fact will not be helping us unless we do the Upasana of it for a long time. यहाँ भी उपासना से ज्ञानम दृढ़म बनता है. वो दृढ़ ज्ञानम अनुभव को देता है. Yeah, we'll see the remaining tomorrow. Go slow, no hurry. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamādāya Purnamevāvashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarshibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shrutimātriyam Tatsat Brahmaranastu. The take home point is simple in layman's language. You and I as Jiva caught up in three. There is a fourth one. That is a reality. Other three are only imagination imposed on that. In the imaginary superimposed world, there is always bondage of dukkha. Only when the fourth is recognized, then there will be dukkha nivritti permanently. So, I must recognize the fourth one among all the three. This much layman language, if you understand, we understood what is said so far. It also means